Co-moderating that debate with me tomorrow night at this time is Erika D. Smith, columnist for the LA Times. Erika, good to see you.
You too.
We spent all day together at the Skirball Center preparing these questions. It's a lot of work going into all of this. We just saw the breaking news now that the sheriff is no longer going to be in charge of this investigation into Sheila Kuehl and other county officials. It's now going to be the Attorney General, Rob Bonta. I'm sure that's going to come up. What are you looking for in the sheriff's debate?
Yeah, it's going to be, I think, a really interesting debate, having the two of them on stage together. I think for former Long Beach Chief Luna, I think it's, he's introducing himself to voters, right? I think a lot of people know the name, but they don't really know much about him. They don't know who he is. They don't know what exactly his experience is and how he would make that jump from Long Beach to supervising a department the size of the sheriff's department here in LA. I think for the sheriff, I think it's about him talking about who he is and why he deserves another term. I mean, he went into the primary and he didn't, fare as well as I think he thought he was going to. And so he has to prove to voters why he deserves another term. And so I think those are the kind of the dynamics of that debate.
Well, let's talk about those numbers that you talked about from the primary. June 7th, Sheriff Villanueva received about 30.66%. Robert Luna received 25.8%. The other 7 candidates combined received 43.49%. Remember, you got to get to 50% to win. All those 7 other candidates have all endorsed Luna. So if you add all those numbers together, Luna's pretty far ahead in this. How does the sheriff pull this off?
Well, you got to remember it's the primary, so it was only a fraction of people in LA County that actually voted. It was higher than I think initially, reported given the mail-in ballots, but still, there's a much larger pool of people who will come out for this election. So that's number one. But I do think there's also this idea that he has to, talk about why, again, he deserves another term. And I think that that's more of an uphill battle than he had given credit for. And I think some of the recent scandals, we talked about the supervisor, some of the other things that have come up, I think those are going to come back to bite him a little bit. And so he has to talk about, not just why he's in this situation, but how he would get out of it. And for a lot of voters, it seems, they don't like a lot of those scandals. So he has some explaining to do, I think.
Yeah, and part of the challenge for him is that LA County is very Democratic. He once was endorsed by the Democratic Party, not so much anymore. And there's a similar dynamic at play in the LA mayor's race. LA City, 60% Democratic. You've got Karen Bass, who's been a Democrat all of her life, endorsed by the Democratic Party. And you've got Rick Caruso, who recently became a Democrat just a few weeks before deciding to run for mayor. What do you expect from that debate?
Yeah, that's going to be another interesting one, having the two of them on stage again together. The last debate, most of the debates have been, several candidates. So it'll be really interesting to see how they interact. I think for Mr. Caruso, he's got, as you said, this is a very Democratic city. He has to prove why his policies are in line, I think, with a lot of what voters typically vote for and a lot of the value system there. I think for the Congresswoman, it's about explaining that, what she wants to do in some ways is more of the same. It's more government, but why is that better? Why is that a better solution than what Mr. Caruso is proposing? So I think it's kind of they're very different visions for the future of the city. And so it'll be really interesting to see how they present themselves and how they present their visions to voters.
And we're going to ask about a lot of issues, but we asked people to submit their questions and what issues they wanted to hear about. Overwhelmingly, most of the questions were about homelessness. If you look at polls of what issue is most important to people in Southern California, homelessness is always #1. And so there's a lot to dig into on the issue of homelessness.
No, absolutely. It is that issue that, it crosses across, this city and this county as well, from the encampments to just kind of the public health crisis that we see on our streets. And there's also some, sense of how that crisscrosses with public safety, where a lot of people in previous polls, I think some done by the LA Times, have shown that people aren't necessarily feel as safe with encampments on their streets for their children, for their elderly parents. And so addressing that and how are we going to get people off the streets and into situations where they can get some help, and who's going to have the best plan for that?
We've never seen them on stage together, just the two of them, and we haven't really had an opportunity to dig deep into those issues. There's been a lot of talking points, a lot of platitudes. What we hope to do tomorrow night is to dig a little deeper, to get them to engage with each other on issues like homelessness, on issues like abortion, which is in the news, issues like climate crime, all of that. We're going to do the best we can. There's too much to get to for the time we have, but we're going to do the best we can, commercial-free tomorrow night. Erika D. Smith, we'll see you bright and early tomorrow as we get ready for all this, and we'll see you on the air tomorrow night at 6. Thanks so much.
Thank you. Looking forward to it.
And a reminder, because we can't tell you enough, the sheriff's debate is from 6 to 7 p.m., the mayor's debate from 7 to 8 p.m. You can watch them live here on Fox 11 on TV, or if you're away from your TV, you can stream it live as well, or if you're in the car, it's also going to be broadcast live on KPCC radio as well.